They say that Michael Brown was a suspect in an alleged robbery of cigars at a convenience store before he was shot and killed by a police officer. We're joined again by criminal defense attorney Danny Savalos. We're also going to bring in Mo Ivory, host of the Mo Ivory Show, also an attorney. Mo, we've been talking to Danny. Danny tells us in his mind this news about the alleged robbery changes the equation some. It would give the police probable cause to stop Michael Brown, and if he was fleeing after an altercation with the officer, as the police now allege, it would give the police legally reason, Danny says, to shoot that young man in the back. What do you make of that?
I don't agree at all that it would give them reason to shoot him in the back. I do think it gives them reasonable suspicion to stop him and to question what is going on. Whenever you have a suspect and you have a reasonable suspicion that they could be the person, then you would stop them, you would question, you might even arrest at that point. But it doesn't seem that that's what the officer was doing at all. The first thing he told them was get the F onto the sidewalk, which was followed by a physical altercation. If he was truly there to find out if they were suspects, why didn't he question them? Why didn't he ask them to get on their knees, put their hands in the air, in the middle of the street? A natural procedure that an officer would take if he was going to try to figure out if, in fact, these are the two suspects that I just gotten a phone call about. I don't think at all that that is going to fly in court. But I will tell you, Michaela, when you ask the question, why wait so long? Why didn't they come out with this information in the first, second, third day? It was because they were putting the story together. That is why. The police took 5 or 6 days to put this story together, to make a foundation for what they are going to create as this man's defense. Because I think what they do know is that an arrest is going to happen.
An arrest of the officer.
Absolutely.
So, Danny, to this notion that I can't seem to get away from, does the punishment fit the crime? I mean, you talk about the fact that this was a big young man, and if it was indeed him seen on this footage, he was shoplifting, essentially, and he might have pushed somebody around in the store. He then ends up dead on the street. And I think a lot of people in the community, certainly in Jefferson, are having a hard time connecting those dots, saying, you know, police might have been right to stop him if this was indeed a suspect in this robbery. But at the end of the day, the young man's dead for stealing cigars.
Yeah, well, look at everyone. Yeah, look at our analysis. It's a little flawed. I mean, you yourself said the word shoplifting, but if you shove people, that becomes robbery, and that becomes a crime of violence. And Mo's analysis is certainly interesting, but it isn't the law. It actually, they have the reason to stop him, and if you don't just adopt what Michael Brown's friend says completely, which Mo apparently does, if you believe him hook, line, and sinker, no problem. But I have to suspect the police officer's version. Hold on. The police officer's version is going to not be that he said, get the F off the sidewalk. Actually, it's completely inconsistent with a police officer following up on probable cause that a robbery has occurred. What I suspect we'll hear is that the police officer stopping them, just as Mo indicated they should, investigating, and if an altercation resulted, and if the officer was actually threatened with serious bodily harm, then it changes the analysis, and the officer becomes authorized to use deadly force. These are all rules that we've known for. Was stopping them, just as Mo indicated they should, investigating, and if an altercation resulted, and if the officer was actually threatened with serious bodily harm, then it changes the analysis, and the officer becomes authorized to use deadly force. These are all rules that we've known for a long time. That's why the suspected robbery, if it actually happened, changes the contours significantly. You cannot dismiss it. It changes the entire story.